So I'm finished with the sentence. Instead of hitting enter on the keyboard, because if I add it when I don't need to add it, because Word will automatically wrap it for me, it may seem strange when you're like, well, we're done with the sentence, we want to get to the next line. Don't do it, Word will do it for you. Just hit the spacebar twice, and you can see the two little dots, the code. Again, we're not adding that as text or symbols. It's just part of the coding that, well, when I come up here and turn it off, that we see when we turn on the codes. So if I simply begin typing again, to add the next sentence, you see how it automatically just returned it for me without adding a paragraph code right here? Again, that becomes really important in later training videos as we understand how we can format paragraphs and what Microsoft Word detects as a paragraph. In any case, let's keep it simple. Let's keep moving on. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and turn off these codes because, boy, they just get annoying for me when I'm not focused on them right at the moment. So we have, I'm getting to the end of my line here. I'm not going to hit enter on the keyboard and just keep typing. Now, before I continue typing any further, to prove to you that I haven't hit enter on the keyboard to create new paragraphs according to Word, let's come back up here in the paragraph group, click on our show hide codes, and you can see I don't have any paragraph markers there. I just let Word do its thing. So when it got to the end of the line, it just automatically wrapped, took me to the next line, and I didn't have to hit the enter key on the keyboard. Cool. Let's go ahead and turn it off and continue here. Now, when I type in a word that I misspelled, like I want to type in the word this, instead I type it TIHS, Microsoft Word sees this as a commonly misspelled word for the word this. And to prove it to you, after you type it in, when you hit the spacebar, and only when you hit the spacebar, Microsoft's going to do what's called an autocorrect. So in that, after you hit the space, it's going to go back and check the word that you typed, and if it finds it in its dictionary, the database, and it's spelled correctly, then that's fine. If it's not, then it's automatically going to correct it for us. So hit the spacebar, that's the trigger point, and you can see it went from TIHS to this. Now, if you're like, hey, wait a second, that should be TIHS because that's the name of my friend who lives down the street. So if you want to undo this, then hover over the word, and you'll see that little blue line. I don't know if you can see it. Let me hover over it again. And when you hover over that blue line, you get this little smart tag. It says autocorrect options. You can click on the drop-down arrow, and you get a few options. You can change it back to TIHS if that's the name of your friend, or you can stop automatically correcting TIHS in case if you don't want to have this correcting for you all the time. Or you can go to autocorrect options here, opens up the autocorrect window, and you'll notice that you've got the replace and with. So when somebody types in TIHS, automatically down below it's in the database to correct this word with this. We'll go over the autocorrect feature in more detail in a later training video, but this is to give you a heads up of what's happening here. So let me click cancel. Now again, this autocorrect feature is only executed after you hit the spacebar because it checks the word behind it. So if I type it in again, TIHS, and I click off somewhere else, a couple of things. First of all is that you can see that you get a red squiggly line. That's an indicator to you from Word that it thinks that this word is misspelled correctly or it's not in its dictionary. So you can go back to it and say, they're wrong, this is the name of my friend. And I'll show you how you can add this to the dictionary so it doesn't misspell it every time or have the red squiggly saying that it's misspelled or not in Word's dictionary. But to keep it simple for this video, let's just go ahead and, with the cursor flashing after it, hit the spacebar. And again, to prove my point, the autocorrect feature is executed once you hit the spacebar to check the word that you typed behind it. Let's go ahead and hit the backspace key to get rid of this, so we just have one this, and finish off our thought here. And that's basically it when it comes to creating a document. In the next training video, I'll show you how you can save this, so you don't want to lose your work. You want to make sure you save it.